Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Devotees, you are welcome. We are continuing our study of Bhakti Vedanta, 10th canto, 14th chapter, addressed by Brahma to Gopal Krishna. We are starting from verse number 21. So up to verse 23 is the inconceivable qualities of Lord Krishna.
Recording in progress.
So Koveti Bhuvan Bhagavan Paratman Yogeshware Yogeshwaroti Bhavattastrilokyam Kva katham va kati va kedeti Vistarayan kirasi yogamayam. So the word yogamaya is important. Kirasi means playing, which means pastime. Yogamaya means when you appear in many incarnations, when, how, where is indescribable, is inconceivable. So, here is the translation. O Supreme Great One, Bhuman, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, Super Soul, Master of all mystic yoga, your pastime are taking place continuously in these three worlds. But who can estimate where, how, and when you are employing your spiritual energy, Yogamaya, and performing these innumerable pastimes? No one can understand the mystery of how your spiritual energy acts. So Srila Prabhupada's disciples write, Brahma previously stated that Krishna incarnate among the demigods, human beings, animals, fish, and so on. Now, this does not mean, however, that Lord is degraded by his incarnation. As Brahma clarifies here, no conditioned soul can understand the transcendental nature of Lord's activities, which he enacts through his spiritual potency. Although the Lord is Bhuman, which means supremely great one, he is still Bhagavan, the supremely beautiful personality exhibiting pastime of love in his own abode. He is great means he is all-pervading, but still in his own abode he is performing his eternal pastime of love continuously. At the same time he is Paramatma, as his expansion as Kshirodakshay Vishnu, the all-pervading super soul, who witnesses and sanction Updrishta, Anumanta, Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara. These are the function of Paramatma in Bhagavad Gita. Updrishta means witness. Anumanta means giving sanction. So these are the two words written here. You give sanction and you are witness of all activities of the conditioned soul. The Lord's multiple identity is explained by the term Yogeshwara. And you do this because you are Yogeshwara. Pasyame Yogam Ishwaram. All this is because of my Yog and Aishwarya. Aishwarya is opulence and Yoga, mystic opulences. The absolute truth is master of all mystic potencies. So, Yogeshwar means mystic opulences, mystic potencies. And although he is one and supreme, he manifests his greatness and opulence in many different ways. Such elevated spiritual matters can hardly be understood by foolish persons primitively identifying themselves with the insignificant material body. These conditioned souls, such as atheistic scientists, consider their own puffed up intelligence supreme. Gullibility, placing their firm faith in material illusion, they are captured by the modes of nature and are driven far away from the knowledge of God. And Chakravarti Pad writes, Brahma prayed, "You come as a Ram to kill Ravan and as a Krishna to relieve the burden of the universe. Your white, red, black and Shyam avatar appear to institute religion, not to defeat the philosophical wranglers. Actually, no one can fully understand where, when and why and how you will appear. O unlimited Lord, O cause of all causes, if your transcendent body were not beyond the modes of material nature, no one could understand the difference between matter and transcendence. Your body is all transcendental and body of the living entity is conditional, is a matter. Only by your presence when you appear as the avatar can one understand the transcendental qualities of your Lordship, who is the controller of material nature. Everybody is controlled by material nature, living entities are controlled by material nature, and you are the controller of material nature. O Supreme Great One, O Personality of Godhead, although you expand throughout the material universe, you are still full with 6 opulences. Although you enjoy all opulences, you witness everything in your expansion as Paramatma. O Master of Mystic Power, Yogeshwar, you display inconceivable powers by the agency of Yoga Maya. You can understand when, where, why and how your spiritual energy acts to display your transcendental pastime, Uti, within the 3 worlds, Trailokyam. Your ultimate spiritual form is full of all opulences, and though it is not material, it exists everywhere in the material universe. But how is it possible to satisfy simultaneously all your devotees at all times with your transcendental pastime? Answer, by your inconceivable energy, Yoga Maya perfectly carries out the work of presenting different pastime to your various devotees at the suitable time. There is a very lengthy purport by Jiva Goswami, I think, not this but next verse. After describing everything, Brahma speaks with respect. O unlimited Lord, Woman, O Supreme Person endowed with all power, Bhagavan, O Soul with all beings, are the cause of all beings, Paramatman. O Lord, spreading yourself over all times by your innate power of yoga, Yogeshwar, who knows how and when your pastime, Utihi, will occur. You alone know the location of all the unrestricted pastimes, since you are unrestricted, Bhuman. You alone know how these pastimes take place, since you are endowed with all powers, Bhagavan. You alone know the quantity of these pastimes, since you are Paramatma. You know when they will occur, since You spread all over the time, Yogeshwara. The cause of all is Yoga Maya, your great Swarup Shakti. Among your avatars, Goswami writes, is there not one that performs action like a normal person of this world? Who knows you? You are unlimited. You are endowed with all powers. You reside within all beings. You can do the impossible because Yogeshwar means impossible things can be accomplished easily. In the sequence of names of the Lord, here, name of the Lord means Bhuman, Bhagavan, Paramatma, Yogeshwara. In the sequence of name of Lord, they are gradually more difficult to comprehend and show the greater excellence of the Lord. You spread Yoga Maya, this is the special Shakti of the Lord, which is endowed with eternity, knowledge and bliss. So Yoga Maya is Satchitananda. This is pastime. Thus his pastime, Uti, are real. This is explained in Bhagavad Amrit. Other meaning is Yoga Maya can mean mercy, Maya, endowed with power, Yoga, shown to devotees. Your activities cannot be understood because they are unlimited and filled with your powers. Another meaning can be, why are so many materialists even seen even today? Who can know your activities? They are generally bewildered since your pastime are difficult to understand, being spread with Yoga Maya. That is suitable because you are Bhuman, Bhagavan and Paramatma and Yogeshwar. Since the Lord is inconceivable, his pastime are inconceivable. That is the Hare Krishna. That is the pastime inconceivable. That is the conclusion. The ignorant must surrender to your devotee for gaining knowledge of your pastime. By this, they are delivered and by nothing else. So this verse with 21 we just read, Ko Veti, who knows? Veti means how. Bhuman, O great. Bhagavan, with all opulence. Paratman, the super soul. Yogeshwar, the master of mystic power. Utihi, Uti means pastime. Bhavatas means your. Trilokian means in three words, three planetary systems. Kwa, when, va, katham, how, kati, how, and kedati, where and how. Vistarayan, kiradayasi, you expand and have your pastime by the agency of Yoga Maya. So simultaneously he can have many incarnations at many places because he is at one time he is speaking to Brahma. Right now he is speaking to Brahma. He is in front of Brahma. And simultaneously he is the super soul in everybody's heart. And not only that, he may be appearing in some other planet in a different incarnation. So this is simultaneously going on. Many things are simultaneously going on. And this all is carried out. His pastime are carried out by Yoga Maya, and his opulence is carried out because he is a Yogeshwar. And he is a great, all pervading. So this verse is speaking about with respect. Brahmaji is speaking with respect about the unlimitedness of the Lord. Now we are reading verse number 22. Tasma, therefore, idam jagat asesham asat swarupam. Idam jagat means this world, asesham asat swarupam. It means, asesham means entire. Sesh means something left. Asesh means complete. Entire. Asat swarupam, which means whose existence is unreal in sense of temporary. It is asat because it is temporary. And then there is a word, puru dukkha dukkham, is like dream. Asat dishtim, swapam, then is swapan abham. Swapan abham, swapan abham means like a dream. Asat dishnim, asat where awareness become covered with over. Asat dishnim means intelligence, and asat means something which is the awareness of something. Awareness is by mind and which is covered. Puro dukkha dukkham, full of repeated miseries. Tvai eva, you, but you, within you. Material world is like that, but you, tvai, with you, eva, indeed, nitya, you are eternal because you have a sattva or sandhini shakti. Sukha, because you have haladini shakti. Bodha, because you have samvit shakti. So these three words are speaking about the sattva, anand and chit. Bodh means consciousness, chit means consciousness, cognizance. Tano, whose personal appearance means you, Krishna, the cowherd boy in front of me is Satchidanand. You are not like the material world, are not made up of some, your body is not material. It's all Satchidanand. Mayataha, by the illusory energy, udyata, coming forth, api although, yat which sat real as if avabhati appears. Therefore, this entire universe, which like a dream is by nature unreal, nevertheless appear real, and thus it covers one's consciousness and assail one with repeated miseries. This universe will appear real because it is manifested by the potency of illusion emanating from you, whose unlimited transcendental forms are full of eternal happiness and knowledge. So why the world appears real? Because it is connected, is manifested by your potency. And Prabhupada's disciple write, as an object of enjoyment or permanent residence of the conditioned soul, the material universe is certainly illusion, nothing more than a dream. One may give the analogy that the vision of abundant water in the desert is no more than a dream, although real water exists somewhere elsewhere. Similarly, the vision of the home, happiness and reality within the matter is certainly no better than a foolish dream in which repeated miseries appear. In other sense, however, the universe is real. In his commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, Srila Madhva Acharya has confirmed this by quoting the following statement from the Vedic Shruti mantra. Satyam hai evedam vishwam asarjatta. This universe created by Lord is real. Satyam means real. He means certainly. Ev idam means this, Vishwam means universe, Asajit means created. This created universe is real. The perfect authority of the Veda thus certifies the universe to be real. Nevertheless, because our knowledge is stolen by illusion, as indicated here by the words Asat Dishni. Dishni means intelligence. Asat means it is illusion, false. We cannot properly understand this universe or the Supreme Lord who has created it. As the expansion of Lord Sri Krishna, the universe is real and is meant for being engaged in his service. This universe is also complete and is a complete facility for the conditioned souls to rectify themselves and go back home, back to Godhead. Om Purnamada Purnamidam, this verse in the Isha Upanishad, there's a Lord is complete, material universe is complete, there's a complete facility for the conditioned souls to get out of it, but it is also complete illusion and is a complete facility for the devotees to get out of it. One who accepts the kingdom of God as home, the Lord himself as the object of love, and the material universe as paraphernalia for being engaged in the Lord's service, dwell within eternal reality, wherever he may go within the material or spiritual worlds. These three lines of the purport are very good. Our consciousness should be number one. The kingdom of the God is our home. And the Lord himself is the object of love. And the material universe and as a paraphernalia for being engaged in the Lord's service. So, if our consciousness is focused on these three things, our home is Golok, our love is for Golokeshwar. Though we are in the material world, all the facilities to serve the Vrindavan Ishwar. Then wherever we are, either in the material world or in the spiritual world, we are beyond the influence of material world, always in spiritual consciousness. Chakravarti Padshah writes, Brahma prayed. In summary, the universe is material and medium-sized form of Krishna compared to the universe. In summary, the universe is material and medium, and the medium-sized form of Krishna is Shuddha Sattva, completely spiritual. So there is a comparison between the universe and Krishna. Though this small Krishna, 5 years old, as compared to the huge universe which is material, the Krishna is completely Shuddha Sattva or completely spiritual. The very essence of the material world is that its existence is temporary asat. Asatoma satagamaya. Ved says, take me from temporary to the permanent. It is unreal like dream, but nevertheless, it appears real and cover one's consciousness. Asat Deshnim. The universe appears real because it is manifested by the illusory energy Mayata of you, whose unlimited transcendental forms are full of Sandhani Shakti, Nitya, Haladini Shakti, Sukha, and Samvit Shakti, Bodh. So your form is Satchit Anand. Another meaning, O Lord, your form is full of mercy, Maya. Whereas this universe is full of inauspicious miseries, dukkha dukkham. What is the necessity of considering the universe at all if it is false? But the world is not false. Swapan abham. Swapan abham is not false. From the point of view of material pleasure, the ignorant think it is wonderful, sadev, but in reality, it's full of misery. There are some questions in a question bank from this section. Now, this is very lengthy purport. I'm escaping this. I'm escaping escaping this. Because the whole purport is about Yogamaya and its function in Krishna Leela, with maybe tens of the verses quoted throughout by Srila Jiva Goswami. So this I am leaving for you to read. I have now described the Maya, the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord, which consists of three modes of material nature and causes creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the material world. Now, what more do you wish to hear? This is Bhagvatam 3:11-3:16. One should consider material energy in this way. Now, Sanatana Goswami writes, what can be said? The reality of your pastime, your various avatars shine as truth, because the material world, though false, is related to you. Because your pastime are spread with yoga maya, tasmat, the world is unreal. Or the idea of that the world is unreal, as established in the verse 16, 17, and 18, is summarized in this verse with the word tasmat. This should be connected, these statements, because you showed the false universe to me, Brahma, and your mother. This is what yesterday we discussed. Was the universe false, which you showed your mother in the mouth? And at the same time, there was a universe outside also. So how can be the two at a time? Mirror cannot be reflected in mirror. It means both are true. And this is only through your yoga maya. So continuing that message from verse number 16 through 18, this should be connected, this because you showed the false yoga. The Lord is without destruction, Anante. He is eternal. The asat world seems eternal because of relationship with that sat. Why this material world is seems eternal? Because it is connected with the eternal. Therefore it is called Devi He Ish Gunamai. It is Devi because it is connected with Dev, you, for your pastime. Dev also means play. The world is like dream, temporary, that become eternal because of relationship with eternal Nitya. Without consciousness, by relationship with the conscious Lord, Bodh Tano. It becomes conscious. Without consciousness, world has no consciousness because it's a matter. By relationship with the conscious Lord, Bodh Tanu, your Satchitanand body, it becomes conscious, filled with misery. By relationship with the blissful Lord, Sukha, it becomes full of happiness. Or even the materialist, by service to you, attain the highest auspiciousness, because you have inconceivable greatness with your numerous avatars and their pastimes. The world falls because it is composed of false planets, like a dream, because it is temporary. Without consciousness, because of lack of knowledge of Lord. All because it arises from Maya, Mayataha Udyat. If used to attain you, Twai, if the paraphernalia of this material world is used to attain you, If used as a service to you, then it becomes excellent. Sad eva avabhati. Eva here means perfectly so. Or the world shines like Vaikuntha. Tata eva avabhati. Sat eva bhati. So the whole idea is material world, though appear temporary, if connected with the Supreme Lord, by engaging in the service of the Lord, then this world becomes conscious and like a Vaikuntha. Verse number 23 of this section. Ekastvamatma purushaha puranaha satyaha swayam jyoti ananta adhyaha nityaha aksharo ajassara sukho niranjanaha purna advayo muktaha upadhino amritaha. These are all the qualities of the Lord, the transcendental characteristics. Ekas, you are only one. Tvam, you are only one. You, Krishna, the coward boy, right now, right here with the curd rice in your left hand. Atma Purusha Purana. Atma Purusha Purana. You are the oldest personality. You are the supreme soul. You are Paramatma. You are also the oldest personality. Satya. You are the real truth. Swayam Jyoti. You are effulgence by yourself. Truth, Swayam Jyoti, self-manifested, self-eliminated. Ananta, you are unlimited. Adhya, you have no beginning. Nitya, you are everlasting. Ksharo, you cannot be destroyed. Ajasar Sukho, your happiness cannot be interrupted. It is continuous. Niranjataha, which means actually Niranjatas, devoid of contamination of material modes. Purnaha, you are complete, you are adhbhut, there is no duality in you. Muktopadhi, you have no any designation. You are actually amritam. You are actually nectar. And here amrit means deathless. You have no death, you are deathless. Now, you are the one supreme soul, the primal supreme personality, the absolute truth, self-manifested, Swayam Jyoti, endless, Anant, and beginningless, Adi. You are eternal and infallible, Aksharam, perfect and complete, Puran, without any rival, Ajarsam, and free from all material designation, Upadhi, Mukta. Your happiness can never be obstructed, Ajarsam Sukham. You, any connection with material contamination, Niranjan. Indeed, you are the indestructible nectar of immortality. Aksharam Amritam. Now, Sridhar Swami explained how the various terms of this verse demonstrate that the transcendental body of Lord Krishna is free from characteristic of material bodies. So, all these words are comparison with the living entity's body and Supreme Lord's body. All the material bodies go through 6 phases: birth, growth, maturity, reproduction, decline, and destruction. But Lord Krishna did not take material birth, since he is the original reality, effect clearly indicated here by the word adhya, original. We take our material birth within the particular material atmosphere and a material bodies that are amalgamation of various material elements. Since Lord Krishna existed long before creation of any material atmosphere or element, there is no question of material birth for his transcendental body. Similarly, the word Purana means full and complete. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. refute the concept that Lord Krishna could grow, since he is ever existing in fullness. When one's material body becomes mature, one can no longer enjoy as in youth. But the word ajasara, sukha, enjoying unobstructed happiness, indicate that Lord Krishna's body never reaches so-called middle age. He never goes to Yovan. He's always Nitya Kishore. Since it is always full of spiritual youthful bliss. The word akshara, undiminishing, refute the possibility that Lord Krishna's body grows old or decline. And the word amrit, immortal, negate the possibility of death. In other words, Lord Krishna's transcendental body is free from transformation of material bodies. The Lord, here I can just add one thing. Simple matter only undergo three changes. It is made, it lives for some time, and then it breaks. But the ensouled matter, the material body in which there is a soul, then it goes under 6 changes. The table undergoes only 3 changes. It is made at some time, then it lasts for some time, then it is finished. But the ensouled matter, the matter in which a soul enters, it undergoes 6 changes. But soul then never undergoes 6 changes. And super soul never undergoes 6 changes. And Supreme Lord never undergoes 6 changes. Because changes are in the matter, not in the spirit. The Lord does, however, create innumerable worlds and expand himself as innumerable living entities. But the Lord's so-called reproduction is completely spiritual. It means all the souls which are the part and parcel of Supreme Lord are spiritual and does not take place at a certain phase of bodily existence. They are before bodies. Rather, it constitutes the Lord's eternal proclivity to expand his spiritual bliss and glories. As the Lord states in Shruti, Purvam evaham ihasam, I alone existed in the beginning. Therefore, here the Lord is called Purushaha Puranaha, the primal enjoyer. This original Purusha expands himself as super soul and enters every living being. Still, he is ultimately the absolute truth, Krishna, as stated in Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Yah sakshat parabrahmiti govindam sachidanand vigram Vrindavana sura bhurvaha talasinam. Talasina means under the tree. Absolute truth himself is Govinda, who is an eternal form of bliss and knowledge, and who is sitting beneath a shady desire tree of Vrindavan. This absolute truth is beyond material ignorance and beyond even ordinary spiritual knowledge, which only take us to the Brahm, as stated in the same Gopal Tapani Shruti. Vidya avidyabhyam bhinna. Thus, in many ways, the supremacy of Krishna has been established in Vedic literature, and it is here confirmed by Brahma himself. Even Vidya don't know him. The knowledge of the Supreme Brahma only does not know Krishna. Now, Brahma prayed, Chakravarti Pad writes, although you do have infinite forms, you are also present in one transcendental transparent form by your inconceivable energy. You are the one supreme soul, Ek Atma. And at the same time, you accept yourself as super soul to enter every living being. Here Krishna may protest, but the super soul has no form. He is not a person. After all, the word person generally refers to being that has a form. You say, I am a person. I am a young person. Brahma replies, no, you are the oldest. Again Krishna protests, I am the son of Nanda Baba and I am a young boy of Vraja. It is not right to say that I am oldest. Brahma refutes. It is true that you are the son of Nanda, but it is also true that you exist eternally, Satyaha, in all three phases of time. Therefore, you are the oldest person, Purusha. Now, for this Satya, this word Satya, there is one verse quoted here by Jiva Goswami. This is the verse. Satya Vratam Satya Param Trai Satyam Satyasya Yonim Nihatam Cha Satya Satyasya Satyam Tres Orita Satya Netram Satyatmakam Tvam Sharanam Prapanaha. If you remember, we have discussed this verse in the prayers of the demigods. And this is the middle Mangalacharan of Vyasadeva. First Mangalacharan is Janamadhyasya Yata Satyam Param Dhimai. And this verse, I think 26th verse of the second chapter of 10th canto, is Madhyam Mangalacharan, middle Mangalacharan. He says Param Satya is Krishna. And there is a third Mangalacharan in 12th canto where there is a word again, Satyam Param. So this Satyam is described here. This is what we are discussing right now. Yeah, Satya. Now Krishna again says, Supreme Person, Purusha, you describe is the creator of time, karma and everything else. How is it possible that I am the He? Brahma says, please do not argue. You are self-effulgent, Swayam Jyoti. Krishna, am I like a sun limited within this certain area of space? Brahma, no. You are limitless, Ananta, not restricted by time and space. Your other avatars are also the same. Krishna says, oh, the Supreme has many incarnations. So, am I just one of them? No. You are the source, adhya, of all the avatars, the root of all incarnations. Krishna, in the next lifetime of Brahma, will I again incarnate in this form? No, you are Nitya, eternal. Although the universe is ancient, real and eternal, at the end of my lifetime, it is no longer manifested in the same form because it will disappear. Therefore, it is anitya, temporary. On the other hand, you will remain eternally in this form as the son of Nanda. Therefore, your form is eternal and unchanging because you are the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Vedic literatures confirm this by saying, Yo asau saurya tishtati. The Lord Krishna is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead who formerly appeared in Surya Vansha as Lord Ramachandra. The Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Sau saurya tishtati. यह साक्षात परम ब्रह्म इति गोविंदम सच्चित आनंद विग्रम वृंदावन सुर भूरुहु तलासीनम. Same verse Srila Prabhupada disciple has quoted. Lord Krishna, whose form is eternal and full of knowledge and bliss, and who sits under a kalpa vriksha tree in Vrindavan, is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. You yourself affirm in Bhagavad Gita 14:27, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. Krishna says, but those who have bodies are subject to the sixth transformation and are therefore disintegrating at every moment. How is it possible that I am like that? Brahma, no, you are not like that. You are unchanging and indestructible Akshara. And for this Akshar, there are some verses quoted by the Jiva Goswami, which we will see. And this word Akshar is in 15th chapter of Ksharam Aksharam Chato Api Purusha Purto Purushottama. This verse of Bhagavad Gita is quoted for this verse Akshar. Krishna, those who have bodies also have subject to happiness and distress. Brahma, you are always full of bliss, ajassar sukham, uninterrupted happiness. Krishna, but as a child I was greedy to drink my mother's breast milk and steal the gopis' butter and yogurt. And as a boy I showed anger towards Kaliya and a host of others. In my teenage years, I was lusty to enjoy with gopis, therefore I am impure and contaminated by lust and host of the other vices. Brahma, that is not true. You are Niranjana, spotless. Your so-called lust and other qualities are all pure and spiritual. Krishna, still I am dependent on the gopis and many others because I need them. Therefore, I am not perfect and complete. Brahma, you are perfect and complete, Puran, Atmaram, Apatkam. You are being controlled by prema of your devotee does not negate your perfection and completeness. Krishna, is there someone else like me? No one else is like you. You are beyond compare, adhvya. You are adhvya. There is no comparison. Krishna, very well then, because there is no one else like me, I am therefore the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Still, many people think I am simply a transformation of transcendental knowledge. Brahma, you are not a transformation of transcendental knowledge. Mukta upadhihi. Transformation is upadhi, and you are free from that. The Gopal Tapani 224 states, Vidya avidya bhyam bhinnaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is beyond both knowledge and ignorance. So you have no upadhi or any designation. This is so because you are beyond all limiting designations. In the Shruti Shastra it is said, Amritam Shashvatam Brahma. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is eternal. He is far beyond any limiting designation. In the passage, the word Amrit, in this passage, the word Amrit may also be interpreted to mean he who never dies. Jiva Goswami writes, Brahma summarized an intermediate topic. Since you are the cause of Narayan, verse 14 of this chapter, and are one alone, verse 18. Standing with yogurt rice in your hand, you are the basis of all material and spiritual manifestation. Ekatvam Atma. Tam ekam Govindam Sachit Anand Vigraham. The Govinda is eternity, knowledge and bliss. Concerning the word Atma, Shruti says, Sakshat Prakriti Paroyo Yam Atma Gopala Katham Tva Avatirno Bhumayam Aha Vai. How has the supreme form of Govinda beyond Prakriti appear on earth? Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Krishnam enam avavehi tvam atmanam akhilatmanam. You should know Krishna to be the original soul of all living entities. This is coming in a 55th verse of this chapter. Sarvesham api bhutanam nirpaha swatmaevaha vaibhavaha itraha apetyaha Vitadyastada valabhatayevahi. O Krishna, for every created being, the dearmost thing is certainly his own self. The dearness of everything else, children, wealth, and so on, is due to only the dearness of the self. This is also the 50th verse of this chapter. Concerning the word Purusha, the Shruti says, Atmatavan evasthashyati Purushaha. Govind is known as the Purusha. Purusho yo asava uttamah Purusho Gopalaha. The ultimate Purush is Gopal. Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Concerning the word Puranaha, it is said, Gudha Purana Purusho Vana Chitra Malyaha. The ancient Purush wander about decorated with flower garland. Concerning the word Satya, this is the verse we just read. And then, concerning the Swayam Jyoti, Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vidvan Tasmai Gopyati Sma Krishna. People desiring liberation surrender to Krishna, who bestow his mantra to the learned and protect them. Intelligence, Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Anantaha is listed as follow. From the 8th chapter of this 10th canto. In Damodar Leela, he has no front, he has no back, he has no beginning, he has no end, so he is Anant. And Yoayam Kalastvahe Vyakto, this is the another verse from the 3rd chapter which we have done. O inaugurator of material energy, time which is started with second and ends with the years, which rotate to make the lifetime of Brahma and by which the universe moves, is said to be your movement. I surrender to the Supreme Lord, the abode of fearlessness and happiness. These are some prayers by Vasudeva most powerfully. Concerning Adhya, it is said, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidadir Govinda, and Viduto hi Bhavan Sakshat Purusha Prakriti Paraha Keval Anubhav Ananda Swarupah Swa Buddhi Drika. I know you directly as the Supreme Person, beyond material existence, as impersonal Brahm, as Paramatma, as Bhagwan. This is also Vasudeva is speaking prayers in 3rd chapter. Concerning Nitya, this is Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Nityo Nityanam Chetas Chetranam Eko Bhavunam Viddhati Kaman Tam Pithagam Yeno Yajanti Vipras Tesham Siddhi Shashwati Nektaresam. He is the chief eternal and the chief conscious who, though one fulfill the desire of all being, those Brahmans who worship him situated in Virj attain perfection and not others. Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Etad Vishnu Param Padam Yo Nityado Yuktaha. These are the verses. Krishna reveals his abode to those who constantly meditate upon that abode and do not worship material objects. Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Regarding Akshara, Yasmat Ksharam Atito Aham Akshiradapi Uchottamha Ato Asmi Loke Vedecha Pratit Prashottam of the 15th chapter. Because I am superior to Jiva, to the Brahm and to the Purusha known as Paramatma, and even the other forms of the Bhagavan. I am celebrated in the Vedas and Smritis as Supreme Person, Purushottama. Concerning Ajasar Sukham, it is said, Krishna Atmako Nityanandaika Rupaha. Krishna is the form of eternity and bliss. Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Vasudeva in his prayer also says, I know directly as the Supreme Person beyond material existence, as impersonal Brahm, as Paramatma and Bhagavan, form of bliss. You are that. Concerning Niranjana, purity, Narad says, Vishuddha Vijnana Ghanam Swa Sangsthaya Samapataha Sarva Artham Amogha Vanchitam. Let us approach you, the Supreme Lord, for shelter. You are full of perfectly pure spiritual awareness and are always situated in your original identity. Concerning Puran in the Shruti, it is said, Ye he chuha upasanam etasya govindaikakya adyo harino bruhi. Please explain to us the worship of Govinda, the support of all things. Brahma says, who knows where and how many and when your pastime will take place in the universe? Just we read the verse 21. And for Advaya, Shruti says, Advayeva Mahate Sri Krishnaya Namo Namaha. I offer respect repeatedly to Krishna, the greatest, without compare. Advyaya. Advyaya, Advyaya, Mahate Sri Krishnaya Namo Namaha. Very nice mantra to remember. Concerning Mukta, the Shruti says, Sakshat Prakriti Para. He is beyond Prakriti, free from all covering. Concerning Amrtaha, Shruti says, Govindan Mrityur Vibheti. Death is afraid of Govinda. No one in this material world, fearful of snake of time, has become free from fear, even by fleeting to various planets. But now that you have appeared, death is fleeting in fear of you, and the living entities having obtained shelter at your Lord's feet, by your mercy are fearless and tranquil. This is also in 3rd chapter of this canto, verse number 27, which may be period of the Devaki or Vasudeva. Concerning his different forms, birth, death, Shruti says, Sthanor ayam achedyo yam, yo asao sauryo tishtati, yo yogashu tishtati, yo asao gopan brave, lives among the cows, protect the cowherds, and lives among them. Gopal Tapani Upanishad. In the commentary, Sridhar Swami indicated that the word Swayam, Yoni, Niranjanam, Mukta excludes 4 types of result of material action. What is this? What is the meaning of this? Swayam, 3 words, exclude 4 types of result of material actions. What is this? Sridhar Swami says this. What is this? Anybody can try to understand what are the material actions.
Proper mukti is separate from the 4 purusharthas.
Yeah, 4 purusharthas is something coming in my mind, but how it is connected? Swayam Jyoti, Niranjan. Swayam Jyoti, Niranjan means pure.
Niranjana Mukta.
Mukta means free from designation. And Swayam Jyoti means self-effulgent. So what 4 action is excluded? Sridhar Swami says, I don't. Here is the commentary by Sridhar Swami. We have this commentary, but we don't have translation of this. This is the commentary of Sridhar Swami, the red one. This is Sridhar Swami. Bharata Deepika. Nirmalati Artha. But there's nothing, something, I don't see what, the words are there as it is. Vratra api tushtaha. Swayam Jyoti. Vrakti api tush. Vrainam upadhi pakaran bhava. Tattva sangatvam na. Sambhavati iti aha mukta upadhi iti sanskaro api kim api. It's nothing clear. What is the fourth thing? What are the four things he is speaking? What are the material four things? This verse number 24 to 29. Bhakti is superior to speculative knowledge. Now this section is describing the superiority of bhakti over the gyaan. Because most of the period of the Brahma is pure bhakti and also bhakti mixed with knowledge. Gyaan mixture bhakti. Evam vidham tvam sakalatmanam api swatmanam atmanatmaya atmana atmataya vichakshate. Gauravaha arkaha. Guru means spiritual master. Ark means like sun. Labdha Upanishata. Labdha Upanishad means hearing the knowledge of the Upanishad. This Upanishad will be Gopal Tapani Upanishad for the devotees. Suchakshasha swachakshusha yete taranti iva bhavana nirta ambudhim. They can cross the material world. Those who have received knowledge from the sun like a spiritual master can see you in this way as the very soul of all souls, the super soul of everyone's own self. Thus, understanding your original personality, they are able to cross over the ocean of illusory material existence. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Janam Karam Jame Divyam. This is the commentary by Srila Prabhupada's disciples. The gist of this verse is, even the worshipper of your feature as an impersonal Brahm can, if they get the good fortune of devotion to your personal form as Paramatma. Atma tamayata. Atma tamataya. Atmatmataya. Paramatma. Develop faith in you and attain the status of Shanta Bhakta. The first stage of Santaras. So this verse is speaking about the Jnanis. If they get blessing of a devotee association, then they can approach up to Shanta Bhakti. Shanta Bhakta. Devotees in the rest of neutrality are a passive adoration. Brahma prayed. With devotion, they see Krishna as the super soul, who has a charming, handsome, personal form that delights the eyes and mind and heart. They realize that Krishna has all qualities, evam vidham, described in the previous verses. And that, the previous verses means just we have discussed, he is Anant, he is Ajarsam, he is Ajar Sukham, he is Niranjanam, these are all qualities. And that he is the super soul present in all living entities, Sakal Atmanam. This is also described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Paramatmatyah Krishne Jata Shanti Rati Mata. So from here, Chakravarti Pad has taken the meaning. By understanding that Sri Krishna is the super soul, one attains the neutral stage of devotional service, Shantarati. The question may be asked, how does this take place? Brahma answered, the spiritual master lives like a son. By studying the Upanishad under him and obtaining his mercy, one attains the proper vision to see Krishna as Paramatma, and the knowledge to cross over the ocean of illusion known as material existence. And here, Jiva Goswami writes, by knowing you as described, just we have described all the qualities of Krishna, people easily become liberated from the sansar. As the highest object of prem, they realize vichakshate, highest object of love, they realize. You are described in previous verse, the highest form among all the jivas and even the three Purusha, like a sun in relation to the rays. These are the good example given here. Now, you just thoughtfully listen and try to absorb. They realize you as soul of souls, Atma Atmaya, not just as pure soul. The Guru is compared to the sun because he gives direct instruction. Unlike other instructors who are like lamps in comparison. An example is Sukdev. He instructs as follows. Krishnam enam evehi tvam atmanam akilatmanam. You should know Krishna to be the original soul of all living entities. 10:14:55. Upanishad referred to Gopal Thapani Upanishad, which says, Yo aso Brahma Param Brahma Gopalaha. Supreme Brahma is Krishna. Bhava means sansar. Since it is false, wise take shelter of you, and by that they cross sansar easily as if it were water in a calf of the hoof print. That is indicated by evo, means like. And this is the verse from Bhagvatam. Tvayambu chaksha akhil sattva dhamani samadhina veshitaha chetasaike tvatapada potena mahata kritena kurvanti govatsa padam bhavad. This is the verse we have done in the 10-30. O Lotusite, by concentrating on your pure form of Shuddha Sattva in meditation, some people cross the ocean of nescience as easy as one step over the hoof print of a calf by those lotus feet which act as a boat obtained by the grace of a devotee. So now, Srila Sanatana Goswami writes, by proper knowledge of you, by bhakti, they become liberated from sansar easily. They know positively vichakshate, you, through the controller of the jivas, sakalatmanam swatmanam, as a dearer atmatya than themselves atma. Or they know you through the Paramatma, the Atma of me, swatmanam, of all the jivas, as dearer than self. By bhakti to you, they cross the incrossable ocean of Ransar, which is false on earth. It is said to be false because it is insignificant or arises by ignorance. Because the knowledge of the Atma is included in the knowledge of the Lord. By knowledge of the Lord, one easily crosses the ocean of Sansar produced by Atma Gyaan. Verse number 25. Atmanam eva atmatya vigyanatam avijantam teneva jatum nikhilam prapanchitam gyānena bhuyo apicho tat praliyate rajavan ahi bhogaha. Rajavan means rope, and ahi means snake. Yatha, who mistake a rope for snake become fearful, but he then gives up this fear upon realizing that the so-called snake does not exist. Similarly, for those who fail to recognize you as the supreme soul of all souls, the expensive illusory material existence arises, but knowledge of you at once causes it to subside. Prabhupada's disciple write, those submerged in illusion see material existence as infinite, just as one who is submerged in the water sees only water all around him. For example, material scientists and philosophers submerged deep into the ocean of material illusion imagine that material nature extends infinitely in all directions. In fact, the material creation is a finite ocean of ignorance in which foolish living entities such as material scientists are unceremoniously dunked by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To be trapped in a world in which all things are born and die is certainly a fearful experience. Anyone trapped in the dark place naturally becomes fearful, since material life is always covered by darkness of ignorance. Every conditioned soul is fearful. The material nature is not ultimate reality, and thus analysis of the matter can never provide answer to the ultimate question. This dark, snake-like existence called material life immediately disappears as soon as one opens his eyes to the bright light of Krishna consciousness. Chakravartipad writes, do they cross the ocean of Maya or not? Why do you say as if they transcended it? Why did the previous verse say that the material world is false or unreal, anartha? Verse 24 and 25 describe Vivartavad theory, which means evolution theory. Vivartavad is evolution theory of the impersonalists, who claim that the material world is unreal and the act of transcending the material world is also unreal or false. That is why the word as if is sarcastically used here in describing the act of transcending the material world. So Vivartavad is a one word. Those who are unaware, Atmaya avijanta avijanatam. Avijanatam means those who don't know, those who are unaware, that the individual spirit soul, Atmanam, is full of knowledge and bliss, must enter the material realm. It is because of the ignorance that no one can understand the true nature of the soul. And because the ignorance of the material world of 5 elements was created. The word praliyate disappears, implies that Sankhya Yoga, renunciation, Sankhya Yoga means gyaan, renunciation, austerity and devotion, bhakti. By all these, one attains transcendent wisdom, realize that body is different from the soul, and destroy the ocean of material existence. Such a person no longer mistake a rope for snake. And with this understanding, he is liberated from fear. By ignorance, the material world continues, and by knowing Krishna, the material world ceases. Laghu Vaishnava Toshni says, the Atma, the pure Jeev, is root. Ignorance of Jeev, one attains sansar. By knowledge of the Atma, one destroys sansar. What is the use of knowing about the Lord? This is a question. But by forgetting soul, one is in the material world. By remembering soul, one is liberated. Then what is the need of the Krishna? This idea is refuted by studying the opposite. Those who do not know themselves as Atma end up with material bodies by the agency of Maya. Who is the devotee of the Lord? Maya is the devotee of the Lord, who cannot tolerate fault in the Jiva because of ignorance of the root swarup of the Jiva, that of the Lord, then by knowledge of the Lord, which destroy ignorance of the Lord, one attains knowledge of the swarup of Jiva, and this knowledge destroy ignorance caused by identity with body. Now this is most of the time I used to give one example. Anybody remember that? One example oftentimes I used to give. Anybody remember that? Generally when I go for preaching, I ask one question from audience: how the people see in your village, in your town, how people see. The common answer is by eyes. But that's not right. If there is no sun, there is no light, how can you see? It means we see by the light. So, if we see this, if the sun rises, then we can see sun, when we can see ourselves, and we can see the whole world. So here, if we know Lord, then we can know ourselves and we can know the material world in which we are put and how we can get out of that. So Bhagavat Sakshatkar can bring Atam Sakshatkar and deliverance from the material world. So this now I am reading this line, you relate to this. Those who do not know themselves as Atma and our material body is the agency of Maya, who is the devotee of Lord, who cannot tolerate fault because of the ignorance of the root Swarup, that of the Lord. Now, by knowledge of the Lord, number one, Sambandh gyaan of Krishna, which destroy the ignorance of the Lord, one attain knowledge of the Swarup of Jiva, and the knowledge destroy ignorance caused by identity with the body, which is false identification. The example is given to show the destruction of the ignorance. It is like thinking a rope is a snake. Detail may be seen in another place. This is the verse from the now Yogendra is speaking to Nimi Maharaj. For the Jiva, averse to the Lord, against the Lord, there will be a sansar consisting of identity with body, lack of identity with the soul. Because of this absorption in the material covering on the soul, arising from the Lord's Maya. Therefore, the intelligent person, taking Guru as his Lord and very self, should fully worship the Lord with pure bhakti. Sridhar Swami explained this verse. Since Maya created by the Lord create fear, the intelligent person worship the Lord, the controller of Maya. But fear arises because of identity with body, which arises from ignorance of the Atma. What does Maya do? For the person ignorant of the Lord, Ishad apetasya. The Swarup of Jiva does not manifest because of Maya. Because they are ignorant of the Lord. So without light you cannot see yourself. Then he thinks he is body. Viprayayaha, it means opposite. Then by absorption in that identity he develops fear. This is well known among people in Maya. The Lord says, this is the commentary on this verse of Bhagvatam. Deviyesh gunmai mam maya durtaya mam ye prapadyante maya metantaranti te. This is the common verse we know. Just by knowledge of the position of the Lord in general, Maya is destroyed. Krishna Surya Saman, Maya hai andhakar. Jahan Surya tahan Maya nahi adhikar. Jahan Krishna tahan Maya nahi adhikar. Jahan Surya tahan nahi andhakar. So this is the verse like that. Just the knowledge of the position of Krishna in general, Maya is destroyed because he is Surya. It does not require realization of the Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. Even before that it is, even if we know general description of God, still Maya will be destroyed. The effect are observed in the names of Ram. Even those who chant holy name of Ram, they will be free from Maya. But knowledge of Krishna, who makes his appearance in complete fullness, is the greatest knowledge, and result is appearance of highest prem for Krishna. This should be understood from the verse. So this next verse will say from Shanta, now one can advance in a higher stage of Dasya or something, that if they know Krishna. Srila Sanatana Goswami writes, this explains the ease of destroying sansar. How can one destroy these repeated birth and death? Some person do not know, avijanantam, that they are Brahma, a Swarup devoid of doing and experiencing. For them the whole world is produced by this ignorance of Atma Gyaan alone. This is because of the covering of the matter on the Atma, or for those who do not know the Lord, Atmanam, as the dearest Atmataya, that ignorance produces sansar. For those who think I am the Lord, I am Bhagavan, that ignorance produces sansar also. It means Mayavadis. By proper knowledge alone, this world is definitely para, destroyed, liyate, in the most excellent way, bhuyo api. The word cha indicates that the desire for liberation is also destroyed. It means we don't need liberation. We need association of the Supreme Lord. What to speak of the ocean of temporary material world? Even liberation they don't want. So Siddhanta Darpan text 7.2 purport says, description of Vivartavad in this verse is meant to produce detachment, vairagya, pratipadik, so that one may not become bewildered by insignificant material objects. Verse number 26. Agyana sangyayo bhavabandha moksho divo nama nanyo ritagya bhavat ajasara chitatmani kevale pare vicharyamane tarnava viha ivahani. Now, this is a question in the question bank, this verse. Conception of material bondage and the conception of liberation are both manifestation of ignorance. Being outside the scope of true knowledge, they cease to exist when one correctly understands that the pure spirit soul is distinct from matter and always fully conscious. At that time, bondage and liberation no longer have any significance, just as day and night have no significance from the perspective of sun. Material bondage is illusion, because living entity actually has no real relationship with the material world. Because of false ego, the conditioned soul identifies himself with the matter. Therefore, so-called liberation is simply the giving up of an illusion rather than a release from the actual bondage. Yet, even if we think that the suffering of the material illusion is real, and that liberation is thus a meaningful release from suffering, the mere absence of material existence is still insignificant compared to the achievement of the factual spiritual life, which is positive eternal reality. Opposed to the negative illusion of material life. Ultimately, Krishna consciousness or a pure love of God is the only significant, meaningful, and permanent status for every living entity. Since the darkness of night is caused by absence of the sun, one would not experience night within the sun itself, nor would one experience individual days. So how the bondage and liberation both are. Similarly, within pure living entity, there is no material darkness and thus no experience of liberation from such darkness. When the conditioned soul comes to this platform of pure consciousness, he becomes fit to associate with the Supreme Pure Personality of God and himself in the Lord's own abode. Chakravarti Padar, this verse states that idea of material bondage and liberation are both illusion. When one is situated in transcendental knowledge, one knows that they are not different from each other. When one understands that he is pure spirit soul, different from external material body, then he is no longer bewildered by illusion of material bondage and liberation. The day and night do not exist in sun. Material bondage and liberation do not exist when one understands the spiritual truth. Jiva Goswami writes, felicity is explained. Atma refers to pure Jeev of the previous verse and not to the Lord. Since one considers ignorance, bondage and liberation only in relation to Jiva. In this section, the Lord is referred to by the word like you. So same thing again, Jiva Goswami elaborate. Ritagya bhavat means from a particular object, Atma. Ritagya bhavat. It means knowing truth about Atma. Rit means truth, Gya means knowing, Bhavat means some understanding. From the particular object, Atma, which is the knower of the permanent. Ajasa Chityatmani has the same meaning, since Chit means knowledge. It means consciousness, which is revealing like a sun. So Ajasa, uninterrupted, Chitya, which means knowledge or consciousness, Atmani means coming from the soul. Bhava and Atma are also similar. Meaning, since Bhav means that which reveals or brings into existence or brings to life. Atmani in the present verse, like Atmanam in the previous verse, refer to Jiva. Knowledge of Jiva leads to liberation, and ignorance of Jivas leads to bondage. Knowledge of the Jiva leads to liberation, and ignorance of the Jiva leads to bondage. The words Yushmad and Bhavat, you, are used in reference to Lord in this section to make distinction. Bondage and liberation are different from knowledge of Atma, since they are function of Maya. It means liberation and bondage are a function of Maya. They do not exist if one reflects on the conscious Atma. Reflecting on the relationship of Atma, having bondage and liberation, one concludes that there is no relationship. Then how can bondage and liberation manifest? Just by ignorance. There is a perception of them. An example is given to illustrate. Just day and night on consideration are different from the sun because of function of time arising from characteristic related to it. So bondage and liberation are different from Atma. Ahani stands for day and night. And Sanatana Goswami writes, release from sansar has been stated to be insignificant. This verse explained that liberation is not the goal of life. From true knowledge, Rita Gya Bhavat, bondage and liberation do not exist. Actually, the two are based on felicity, Maya. When one reflects on Atma, the eternal form of knowledge, Ajasar Chitta, which is pure, Kevale, beyond matter, Pare, liberation becomes false like bondage. For the sun, there is no night, and by thinking that there is no night, there is no day. With no sansar, liberation becomes insignificant. Thus, it is not goal of life. So, liberation is not goal of life. Or when one thinks only Kevali of Supreme Lord, Pare, in the mind, Atmani, there is no bondage or liberation. How can both become false just by deliberation about the Atma or Super Soul? The Lord is condensed eternal knowledge, Ajasar Chitta. By thinking of Lord, knowledge about truth of both arises. Both means of Lord and soul. It is like sun in the day and night. By having no night, the divisions that create day disappears. So the whole idea is bondage and liberation are both superimposed upon the pure knowledge of the soul and knowledge of the Lord. Absence of the knowledge is bondage, and when one have a knowledge of the pure knowledge of the soul, then he is liberated. But soul is not bondage, in bondage or liberation. It is only by ignorance we think like that. Verse 27. Tvamatmanam parammatva paramatmanam evacha atma punarbahera mirgyaha Aho agyaha janta agyata. Just see the foolishness of those ignorant persons who consider you to be some separated manifestation of illusion, and who consider the self, which is actually you, to be something else, the material body. Such fools conclude that the Supreme Soul is to be searched for somewhere outside your Supreme Personality. Lord Brahma is amazed at the gross ignorance of the conditioned souls who consider Lord Krishna's supreme spiritual body to be material. Ignorant of the spiritual form of the Lord, such persons also consider their own material bodies to be the self, and therefore they conclude that the spiritual reality is to be found somewhere beyond the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Sometimes such fools consider Lord Krishna to be one of many individual souls who together constitute this single impersonal supreme spiritual entity. Unfortunately, such speculators are not inclined to hear from the Lord himself or from Lord's authorized representatives such as Lord Brahma, because they whimsically speculate on the nature of the Supreme. Is confusion and ignorance, which they euphemistically describe as mystery of life. Chakravartipad writes, Brahma prayed, those who think they are knowledgeable of spiritual things, but actually not respect transcendental form. As previously mentioned, such persons are simply beating empty husk. They think your supreme spiritual body is material, another manifestation of illusion. They consider the self, which is actually you, to be something material. Thus, they search for that supreme soul elsewhere. Just see the ignorance of these foolish people. The Vivartavad, which means evolutionist, and Parinamvad, which means transformationist, debate about material world instead of perfect Lord. The form of this Chit Brahm is described in several verses of Srimad Bhagvatam. Shabda Brahmatmanastasya. Brahma is the impersonal representation. Brahma is the impersonal representation of Supreme Personality of Godhead as the source of transcendental sound, and is therefore above the conception of manifested and unmanifested. 3:12:48. And the next verse. Natadvapu bhati vibhushan ayudhaihi avyakta chit avyaktam adhared adharaihi. So the Lord appeared in his original form with ornament and weapon in his hands, although this ever existed form is not visible in the material world. He nevertheless appeared in this form. Then, in the presence of his father and mother, he assumed the form of Vaman, just like a theatrical actor. This is about Vaman, who appeared as four-handed and then become a daft Brahman. So Vishnu Murtis, manifested by the gop named Krishna, are all eternal, unlimited forms full of knowledge, bliss, and existing beyond influence of the time. 13th chapter of this verse. Gopal Tapani Upanishad says, Absolute Truth himself is Govinda, who has an eternal form of bliss and knowledge, and who is sitting beneath the shady desire tree of the Vrindavan. Among all these abodes, the residence of the Gopal is directly the Absolute Truth. Brahma prayed, ignoring these scriptural statements that show Brahma has a body and exists in a spiritual abode, Dham, people remain in darkness. They are so fallen that they accept a blind Guru Parampara and discuss Vivartavad. They are in the most lamentable of all lamentable condition in my creation. Another reading of the Agya Janta, last word, ignorant people, is Gya Janta. In this case, it should be translated What foolishness of so-called learned men! Either they are fools or they are so-called learned. Those who think of you, Krishna, Atma of all Atma, only as a Jeev are fools. Those who think of you, Paramatma, to be just as pure Jeev, Atmanam Param, will again become materialist. The word api means end. The Lord is called Atma since he is spread everywhere and is like a mother. You are not sought externally. In Vrindavan, apunar bahir mirgyaha. Syllabus a in the apunah indicate a negative. They search internally for you as the pure Jeev. Aho expressed surprise. What ignorance of ignorant people! They do not seek out the Lord with astounding qualities of, as mentioned previously, are thinking you, the basis of the all souls, to be other than Atma, thinking that others are also like you. They search for the Atma elsewhere, not at your lotus feet. This is the ignorance of ignorant people. Are thinking that you are the pure form of Jiva, thinking of you only as Antaryami having achieved this special excellence. They do not search for you in Vrindavan. Ignorant people end up in ignorance, for they do not listen to the words of the Lord. But what is the use of all this knowledge of you, Arjun? Please understand, just one portion of my Atma, I am firmly established in this universe. Tena kim gyatena Arjuna vishtabhyam ahamidam krishnam ekansim jagato. The Atma should be sought externally. With two index fingers, Brahma point to the lotus feet of Krishna. So you should find your Atma at the lotus feet of Krishna. If that were not so, I would have remained meditating on you in my mind in Brahmalok. I would not have come here to Vrindavan again. One does not search in the forest for an object lost in the house. Or those who think they are in knowledge are ignorant. Or those who know the nature of Jiva and Lord give up everything and search for Lord in Vrindavan. The verse praises for such people. Are the first Param thinking of you as a Jeev by worship using adhbhut philosophy, monoist, then realizing you as Paramatma, then search for the real Atma of all beings using the external senses? Oh, these people are knowledgeable. Among the knowledgeable, Gna, Janta, Gyata. Or Agya can mean having incomparable knowledge. Just as Anuttama can mean incomparable. The word Mirgya, Aho, do not become Mirgyo. And this is Sanskrit. Verse 28. So 24 to 29, Bhakti is superior to spiritual knowledge. Verse 28. Antarbhave antabhavantameva he asaddat tejayato mirgyanti santaha asantapi ati ahim antarena santam gunam tam kim tu yanti santaha. O unlimited Lord, the saintly devotees seek you out within their own bodies by rejecting everything separate from you. Indeed, how can discriminating person appreciate the real nature of rope lying before them until they refute the illusion that it is snake? One may argue that the person should cultivate self-realization and at the same time pursue sense gratification for material body. This proposition is herein refuted by example of misidentifying rope as snake. One who mistake a rope for snake become fearful and think of so-called snake. But upon discovering that the so-called snake is actually a rope, he experiences different emotion, relief, and can then ignore the rope. Similarly, because we may misunderstand body to be the self, we are experiencing many emotions in relation to body. Upon discovering, however, that the body is simply a bag of material chemicals, we carefully note how this illusion was created and then lose interest in the body. Discovering that we are actually the eternal soul within the body, we naturally focus our attention on that real self. Those who are saintly and wise always cultivate Krishna consciousness, spiritual knowledge, having transcended the foolish misidentification of body as the self. Such Krishna conscious person go on to realize the Supreme Person of Godhead who dwell within the material body as the super soul, the witness and the guide of all living entities. Realization of the super soul and individual soul is so pleasing and satisfying that the self-realized person automatically gives up everything irrelevant to his spiritual advancement. Chakravarti Pad writes, Brahma prayed, Jnanis think that your form is an attribute of Maya. Your saintly devotees, however, seek out the pure form of living entity Jiva, free from covering of Maya. By rejecting that which is material, not spiritual, Atat, they seek out the Jiva which take birth among countless species, Ananta Bhavam, in various bodies, Antarbhave. To reject everything material, one must first reject the false conception that I am material body. Next, the procedure too is mentioned. Brahma continued, how can one see the real nature of the rope lying before him until he refute the illusion that it is snake? In the Vedas it is said, Asango ayam purushaha, the soul has nothing to do with the body. Thus, the jiva has no bodily suffering, but due to ignorance, the jiva identifies with its body and thus experience various miseries. Without rejecting everything related to the body, can one realize Without rejecting everything related to the body, can one realize spiritual identity just by cultivating transcendental knowledge? No. One cannot know the soul without rejecting all attachment to the material body. The cause of ignorance is explained in this verse. The ignorance is of all pervading Lord, Anant. Because you are all pervading, those with discrimination, Santaha, seek you within the universe. The desire to attain you who have no fault and have all good qualities as Swam Bhagavan. Why do they do? What do they do? They give up things other than you, since they are not satisfied. The universe is just covering over me. How can they attain me there? This is the talk of unintelligent. They know you as the effect, not searching for spiritual or material forms. They search out the shelter of everything. An example is given of such people of ordinary discrimination. In giving up all the expansion forms, there is a method of concentrating on the individual. First, they reject the contamination of bodies and attain the pure Atma, the giver of consciousness to the body. This is Nirvishesh Brahma, but this is rejected by Dhruva Maharaj. The Dhruva Maharaj says, bliss for your servant, available for meditating on your lotus feet, or the form, hearing about your pastime from the devotees, is not available in your form of greatness known as Brahm. What to speak of happiness for those who fall from pleasure of Swarga? Swarga has no value, even Brahm I don't want. So this is a 4:9-10. Gita also says Brahm is a, Krishna is the shelter of Brahm, revealer of Brahm. Some yogi meditated upon the Paramatma, measuring one Pradesh, who is residing in the heart within the body and who holds the lotus field wheel, conch shell, and club in 4 hands. Since this form of shows fewer qualities, Garbhodakshay form is more complete. He is an antaryami of all jiva together. Thus, he and his avatar are described in the 3rd canto. The antaryami of all universe is Karundakshay, as indicated by Adyo Avataraha, Purushaha, Parasyaha, Mahavishnu. The first Purusha is an expansion of Bhagavan. Karundakshay is the first push. Finally, you are established supreme for various verses. By various verses. By just one portion of myself, Paramatma, I am firmly established in this universe. Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Puran. Then there is a procedure by thinking of the Lord as the totality of all jiva. First they think of you as the universe composed of Indra, Chandra and other devatas. Later, however, because this form is temporary, they think of you as the antaryami of the universe, universal form. By some good fortune, we have attained today. You are today. The words in the verse 27 were appropriate. Then there is a Vaishnava procedure. It is not proper to say that since the supreme entity is shelter of the Maya and possesses Vidya, it is defeated by avidya. Within the domain of Maya, no. The clear difference between Atma and Paramatma is accepted. Since they have different qualities, they are accepted as having different swarupas. They cannot be divided by arrangements such as cutting or reflecting. Though one may claim the supreme object is eternally cut by upadhis, it is impossible for it is to be object of cutting, since Brahm is not subject to other objects. This is more philosophical discussion you can relish if you have time. This is very good, but I think our time is going. So we have, I think, these 2 verses we will do tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll continue. I think it's a little, only 4 minutes are left. It is quite now this portion is more like Gyani's section. So since we are practicing devotion, it is a little more dry. These verses are dry till 30. Then again a relishable Vrindavan pastime will appear. So we have to bear this. Anybody has any question or comment?
Prabhuji, verse 23, what was the thing? I think I have found it. 4 things in Sridhar Swami's Tika.
What is that? What is that?
I don't know if I'm correct. Vriddhi, Viparinam, Apakshay, and Nash.
It means the out of the 6 changes, 4 changes. What you are discussing is
yes,
like 4 changes. Okay. So from that Sanskrit.
And he also mentioned the words. Yes, that Sanskrit.
Oh, from that Sanskrit.
By Purna, it's Vriddhi. By Ajasra.
Ajasar is Vriddhi.
No, Purna.
Purana.
By Purna, it's Vriddhi.
This Puransva, he will not age, he will remain always Kishore, okay? You can write.
Ajasra Sukh, Viparinam. And then by Akshar is Apakshay. And then by Amrit is Vinash.
So you write in the chat, let everybody relish this. Anybody else has some question? Prabhuji's voice is breaking. Is it only for me? Breaking, yes. Prabhuji's network is poor. Yes, I am poor man, right. I'm in Ahmedabad. They are giving me some poor network. So some question bank question also tomorrow we will discuss. You should prepare. It is better you enlighten one another. We can learn from one another, and then we'll continue further. Okay. It is 14. We can finish it before 15. Vancha kalpatrubhyasya kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. कंहिंजो फोन हो छापियो चाहे
बाबा भी क्लास में बिजी है
कन्हैया लाल है मुझे ख्याल में कुछ चाहिए छा
ना ठीक है